What cell layer has anucleate-rich cells which are rich in keratin? That is going to be the stratum corneum, and that's going to be the top layer. What cell layer that has cells involved in processes of keratinization? And that is going to be the granulosum. The cell layer that is full of desmosomes, high yield for you to know, full of desmosomes, those intercellular connections, that is going to be the spinosum. And so remember that spinosum pathologies can cause desmosomal separation. What cell is going to be the regeneration layer? That's going to be the basalis, and the dermis is going to be underneath the epidermis, containing the sebaceous glands, blood vessels, as well as connective tissue. So when we talk about skin histology, let's kick it off. A 27-year-old Caucasian female presents with weight loss and weakness. She feels dizzy and lightheaded, kind of like how I feel right now. Physical exam reveals several areas of her skin, including her elbows and her knees, that are more tan than others. The cells which are stimulated are derived from which embryological layer? Guys, what's the diagnosis here? This is going to be Addison's disease, primary adrenal insufficiency. She has tanning because the cells are going to be derived from neural crest. The cells that are stimulated via MSH are going to be melanocytes, and those are neural crest derived. Do you guys see how I am playing on these different concepts we've talked about? So adrenal insufficiency, remember it's due to POMC, the precursors of POMC, ACTH, MSH, and beta endorphins. Let's go through all of the neural crest derivatives because this is such a high yield point for you on your USMLE. So M is for melanocytes, O is for odontoblasts, T is for the tracheal cartilage, E is for enterochromaffin-like cells which release histamine. L is going to be a derivative laryngeal cartilage, and the PAS stands for the P being the parafollicular C cells of the thyroid, all ganglia and the adrenal medulla, Schwann cells, and the aorticopulmonary septum, which is going to be messed up in truncus arteriosus. Guys, these are your neural crest derivations. They're right in front of you in your handout. I hope you find value in that. So let's talk about melanin. Biochemistry review. What is the precursor to melanin? The precursor to melanin is going to be tyrosine. So phenylalanine is a precursor to tyrosine. And what is the pathology related to the lack of an enzyme which converts phenylalanine to tyrosine? So phenylalanine is a little bit upstream. Phenylalanine to tyrosine, that is going to be PKU. Remember, PKU is going to be a patient on your USMLE that is going to be pale and fair, and that is due to the fact that you don't have tyrosine, which is a precursor to melanin, is going to be due to a deficiency in phenylalanine hydroxylase. So let's go through it. Phenylalanine becomes tyrosine, tyrosine becomes dopa, dopa becomes dopamine, and dopamine becomes norepinephrine, which eventually becomes epinephrine. A lot of dermatology is just knowing how do you describe a rash, especially when you're calling as a resident a consultant like a dermatologist. Some of you are going to be dermatologists. So when I call you, the key thing is that I want you to note that I am describing these terms properly to you. So let's go through these terms. Blister containing pus, that's going to be a vesicle. A dried exudate from a vesicle, bulla, or pustule, that's going to be a crust. It's more dry. An elevated skin lesion that is less than 1 centimeter. Elevated skin lesion that is less than 1 centimeter, what is that going to be? That is going to be a papule. Very good. How about a flat skin lesion that is small? Flat skin lesion is a macule, okay? Elevated skin lesion that's bigger. Elevated skin lesion, that's a plaque. So remember that elevated, small is papule, big is plaque, papule to plaque, and then macule is going to be to patch. Macule to patch as papule is to plaque. Get it? All right. So again, basic terms for dermatology. They really help you in diagnosing these rashes. A flat lesion that is less than 1 centimeter, guys. What is that going to be? That is going to be a macule. However, a bigger one is going to be a patch. Remember, these are flat. So what is an example of a macule? Something like a freckle. What about a patch? Something like a birthmark or congenital nevus. A raised lesion can be small or can be big. Raised lesion is going to be a papule or a plaque, which is going to be psoriasis. And psoriasis is going to be a raised plaque. And plaques, remember, are bigger. The last category is fluid-containing lesion. A fluid-containing lesion that is small is going to be known as a vesicle. Fluid-containing lesion that is small is going to be known as a vesicle. And that's related to chickenpox, shingles, any herpetic lesion on your USMLE. Think of this word vesicular. That's important for you to know. A big fluid-containing lesion greater than 1 centimeter, that's called a bullae. And bullae is particularly related to bullous pemphigoid. So what is a vesicle-containing pus? That's called a pustule. And a transient papule or a plaque, that is going to be hives or urticaria. Okay? So I know right now you're like macule, papule, plaque, chac, black, right? Everything is convoluted, but guess what? You have the slides in front of you, and make sure you take this introduction and review it on your own.